You've lost. Your brother is imprisoned. The clock is ticking and there's only one way forward. Straight into hell. Impel Down, a fortress beneath the sea where escape is impossible. And every level is more terrifying than the last. The worst criminals in history rot here. And now you're walking straight into their den. In a prison where hope is dead, can you defy the impossible before time runs out? I'll be reviewing Impel Down Arc and share my thoughts while reading One Piece for the first time, since the experience while reading is in my opinion completely different than watching the anime. So welcome to Impel Down, written and illustrated by Eiichiro Oda. But before we continue, if you enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thank you! Impel Down, chapter 525 to 549. The Infiltration, a descent into hell. Garp's visit to Ace in Impel Down is one of the most gut-punch moments in One Piece. Heavy with regret and things left unsaid. You can feel the weight of his emotions, knowing he wanted both Luffy and Ace to be Marines. But Ace shuts him down hard. He tells Garp bluntly, neither I nor Luffy care about that. In fact, we would rather not talk about it. Their bloodline made that dream impossible from the start. Ace fully rejects his biological father, saying, I would rather forget my good-for-nothing father. I do not owe him anything. I don't even remember him. But when it comes to his mother, that's a different story. I owe the name Portkas a great debt. I got it from my mother. More than anything though, this scene shows one crucial fact. Whitebeard is the only father Ace truly acknowledges. Whitebeard gave him a home, a family, a sense of belonging that no one else did. Meanwhile, Buggy is still being, well, Buggy. His crew set out to rescue him from Impel Down, only to immediately abandon the plan because, surprise surprise, it's way too dangerous. Alfida, leading the crew now, just shrugs and decides to keep Buggy's ship instead. Classic Buggy luck. Back at Impel Down, things are as brutal as ever. A new prisoner tries to fight back, only to get absolutely demolished by a monstrous minotaur-like guard. No one escapes this place easily. Then the real tension kicks in. The narration states 4 days have passed, marking the beginning of something big. With just 33 hours left until Ace's execution, Luffy finally makes his move, smuggled in by Boa Hancock. With time running out and Luffy now deep in enemy territory, the stakes are through the roof. This arc is setting up to be one of the most intense in One Piece history, and it's only just getting started. Crimson Hell. Enemies to allies. Luffy's infiltration of Impel Down is pure One Piece insanity at its best. Equal parts chaos, comedy, and high-stakes tension. The prison itself is a living nightmare, designed to be escape-proof with horrifying punishments at every turn. A baptism called the Underworld's lukewarm bath? Yeah, that's just as creepy as it sounds. But Luffy? He couldn't care less about the horrors. He has got one goal, saving Ace. And nothing is going to stop him. Boa Hancock, as always, steals the show with her ridiculous love-struck antics. Casually turning guards into stone to sneak Luffy inside? No problem. Nearly fainting because she mistakes his gratitude for a love confession? Classic Hancock. Inside, Luffy immediately runs into Buggy, who's mid-escape, but already on the run again. Buggy is the perfect wild card. His cowardly antics bring plenty of laughs, but he also drops some crucial intel. The deeper the level, the worse the prisoners. Level 1, Crimson Hell, is already brutal with blade trees, spy grass, and poisonous spiders. But Ace? He may be locked away in level 5, where bounty hunters worth of 100 million berries or more are locked away. Some prisoners are so dangerous they have been erased from history, meaning Ace might even be deeper. In true Luffy fashion, he immediately trusts Buggy, striking a deal. Help him to get to level 4, and Buggy gets Luffy's armband, completely unaware that it's actually a treasure map. Buggy, of course, was definitely planning to betray him. Meanwhile, Warden Hanyabal's open disrespect for Warden Magellan adds an extra layer of comedy to the grim setting. What starts as a secret mission quickly devolves into absolute chaos. Luffy punches his way through Blue Gory guards, while Buggy, despite desperately trying to escape, keeps getting pulled back into the chaos. Before they know it, they crash into level 2, setting the stage for even more madness. This arc so far is shaping up to be one of One Piece's most unpredictable, and I'm all in. Beast Hell. Help from the Waxman. Level 2 Beast Hell is exactly as horrifying as it sounds, packed with monstrous creatures designed to terrorize inmates. Not that it matters, Luffy just punches them away like it's nothing. Then there's Mr. 3, who's a total mess when they find him, but the second he sees a chance to escape, he jumps on it. Their riot plan? Complete disaster. Meanwhile, Ace is locked up with Jinbei, who drops some serious world-building bombs. Turns out, Whitebeard is the only reason Fishman Island is safe. He crushed the slave trade and pirate attacks that plagued it. Jinbei's loyalty to Whitebeard runs so deep he's willing to die for him. But despite everything, he still believes in miracles. And guess what? That miracle is already storming through Impel Down. Luffy. Now, I do think the pacing slows down quite a bit here. Switching perspectives keeps the things interesting, yes, but the time spent on each level makes the story drag a little. It's fun, but you feel the length and the feel that this will be a very long read. That said, Hancock absolutely steals the show. Her distraction of Warden Magellan? Comedy gold. Magellan, the terrifying poison man, is completely dazzled by her beauty, oblivious to the fact that Luffy is wrecking his prison. And then there's Hanyaba, desperately faking authority while Magellan just mocks him. It's hilarious until the guards finally start catching on. Inside, Buggy and Mr. 3 pull a classic move. Ditch Luffy as bait. But karma works fast. The Sphinx destroys the floor, sending everyone crashing into level 3, Starvation Hell. The heat is unbearable. The prisoners are starving. And then there's Luffy, casually munching on a fried bird like it's just another day. Buggy and Mr. 3 are so done with him. Just when it looks when they are trapped, the Sphinx wakes up again, wrecks everything again, and accidentally sets them free. Buggy and Mr. 3 try to sneak off, but Luffy just thanks them, completely unaware they were trying to ditch him. Like seriously, who thanks their betrayers? Then comes the best moment. Just as they are escaping, a familiar, ridiculous voice starts singing. Mr. 3 freezes in horror. Buggy investigates, and there he is. Bon Clay, casually dancing in his cell like he's at a nightclub. Of course, he's fabulous, even in prison. With only 33 hours until Ace's execution, Luffy is deeper in the chaos than ever. The prison is falling apart, and the Marines are absolutely losing their minds. Sengoku is furious, screaming at Garp that his grandson is the first person in history to break into Impel Down. And Garp just sits there laughing his head off. Absolute perfection. Starvation Hell. Friend or foe? Luffy, Buggy, and Mr. 3 crash into level 3, Starvation Hell, where prisoners are barely surviving the heat and hunger. Meanwhile, outside, the Marines are ready to storm in. But Impel Down's sadistic security chief, Sadi, tells them to stay put. This prison is a labyrinth, and they will just get lost. Also, she drops a huge detail. The only way in or out is the drawbridge. When Luffy tries to escape, that's where he will have to go, and the Marines will be waiting. Back in level 3, Luffy is still lost when the Sphinx slams him down, but encounters Bon Clay, disguised as Zoro, to save the day. After an emotional reunion, he joins Luffy on his mission, since he's got someone he needs to see in level 5. But before they get far, Minotaurus, the massive terrifying jailer beast, attacks. It wrecks Clay, but Luffy sends it flying with a Gear 2 jet bazooka. On their way to level 4, Inferno Hell, with boiling blood, fire, and pure nightmare fuel, Bon Clay drops a bombshell. He is searching for Empirio Ivankov, But before they can process that, Buggy and Mr. 3 show up screaming because Minotaurus is back for round 2. Buggy's Mugi Ball flops, so Luffy steps in, gets Mr. 3 to coat his arm in wax, despite the heat, and obliterates the beast with the Gomu Gomu no rifle. Victory? No, not at all. The floor collapses down as they go to level 4. Meanwhile, Ace is losing it because he doesn't want Luffy to come. Over at Warden's office, Magellan is pissed. Not only has Luffy survived this long, but he's also caused a full-blown riot. Hannibal, ever the troll, straight up calls Magellan out. He was too busy drooling over Hancock to notice. But Magellan isn't playing anymore. If Luffy makes it past Minotaurus and into Inferno Hell, he will execute him himself. And considering Impel Down doesn't do executions, this is a serious deal. Inferno Hell. Defeat at the hands of Desperation. This part in Impel Down is a roller coaster of chaos, and Luffy's drive to save Ace is more intense than ever. The prison is locked down, with every guard and beast on high alert. But Luffy? He is doing his usual Luffy thing. Totally unfazed and even more interested in following his stomach to the kitchen than escaping with Buggy and Mr. 3. It's a hilarious moment that reminds me how much Luffy lives in the moment, no matter the danger. But then, the chapters take a dark turn. Magellan enters the scene, and if you thought he was terrifying before, now he's downright nightmarish. The poison oozing from his body and the sheer power of his attacks. It's clear that Luffy is in way over his head. Still, Luffy's relentless determination shines through as he faces Hydra, Chloroball, and Magellan's deadly Venom Road. Each attempt to fight back is met with a brutal counter, but Luffy refuses to give up. The moment he activates Gear 2 and lands a Gomu Gomu no Bazooka on Magellan, I couldn't help but cheer. Luffy actually made Magellan flinch. Unfortunately, that victory is short-lived. Luffy's arms are now coated in deadly poison, and Magellan seals the deal with the poison cloud that shuts Luffy's body down completely. It's heartbreaking watching Luffy's willpower stretch to its limits as he collapses. Barely conscious, but Magellan's respect for him only makes the moment more intense. The cold, calculated way Magellan orders Luffy's punishment is chilling, and you feel the gravity of Luffy's situation. He's broken, dying, and yet he is still calling out for Ace. Frozen Hell. Loyalty in the depths of hell. Luffy's defeat at the hands of Magellan in this part is absolutely devastating to see. Thrown into level 5, Frozen Hell, his body ravaged by poison, he's left to die in the bitter cold of the prison's desolate, unforgiving landscape. The stakes have never felt higher, and this moment really drives home how much Luffy is risking to save Ace. His life is literally hanging by a thread, but what follows is even more intense, as Bon Clay, ever the hero, pulls off a brilliant last-minute disguise to save Buggy and Mr. 3 before setting his sights on saving Luffy. This twist was an absolute highlight for me, reinforcing Bon Clay's unwavering belief in true friendship. A callback to his selfless actions in Arabasta. Bon Clay's determination takes center stage as he races to the infirmary, only to hear the grim news that Luffy's condition is beyond saving. But Bon, ever the optimist, refuses to give up. Remembering the name of the miracle worker, Imperio Ivankov, he risks everything to find him, convinced that there is still a chance to save Luffy. However, a chilling mystery unfolds: the so-called Demon's Invitation. A strange phenomenon where prisoners are vanished without explanation. This part of One Piece ramps up the intensity as Bon Clay and the others enter Frozen Hell. And it's nothing short but brutal. The freezing cold alone is lethal, but things go far from bad to worse when they are ambushed by wolves. Buggy and Mr. 3 ditch Bon, leaving him to face a pack alone. And you can feel the desperation in the air. But the real punch comes when Luffy, barely alive, refuses to give up. Bon's emotional return with the line, "Straw Boy, I've come to save you in the name of friendship," is a perfect callback to his loyalty and adds so much heart to this part. As Bon Clay searches for Ivankov, he's tricked into walking right into the wolf's den. But just when it seems like all hope is lost, Luffy miraculously awakens. The moment he unleashes a burst of haki to send the wolves running is jaw-dropping. His sheer willpower in the face of death is awe-inspiring. Both Luffy and Bon Clay are pushed to their absolute limits. But this chapter proves that no matter how dire the situation, Luffy's instinct to fight and his friend's loyalty will always shine through. As they lie motionless in the snow, a mysterious figure emerges, offering a glimmer of hope in this frozen nightmare. The tension is unbearable, especially with Ace's execution only 26 hours away. Newkama Land, a new hope rises. The chaos of Impel Down reaches new heights as Bon Clay, after tricking Hannibal by posing as Nami, wakes up in Newkama Land, a secret haven between level 5 and 6. This hidden paradise is ruled by Imperio Ivankov, the flamboyant revolutionary with the power to alter hormones, from gender shifts to life-saving treatments. A comedic moment sees a prisoner protesting that Ivankov turned his dad into a woman, only for Eva to transform him as well. But laughter fades away quickly when Bon Clay learns about Luffy's dire state. Luffy has been enduring 10 hours of excruciating hormone therapy to purge Magellan's poison, and Ace's execution is in just 16 hours. In a flashback, Ivankov warns Luffy that his treatment will cost him 10 years of his life, with survival depending solely on his willpower. Seeing Luffy in agony, Bon Clay nearly loses hope. But Ivankov slaps sense into him with a powerful declaration. Miracles only happen to those who never give up. Determined not to let his friend die, Bon Clay does the only thing he can: cheer Luffy on with everything he has. His passionate cries ignited chain reaction, and soon all of Newkama Land are rallying behind Luffy. Meanwhile, Ace and Jinbei discuss Luffy's reckless nature, with Ace acknowledging that his little brother would never back down from saving him. Then, silence. Luffy's screams stop. Has the treatment failed? The door bursts open, and Luffy, miraculously healed, demands food. He inhales everything in sight, defying all odds and stunning even Ivankov. Bon Clay collapses in relief, but Luffy bows to him in gratitude. As if things couldn't get crazier, Ivankov finally pieces it together. Luffy is Dragon's son. Shocked but resolute, he decides to help Luffy save Ace. Meanwhile, Magellan prepares to transfer Ace, and time is running out. With renewed strength, Luffy charges ahead. The battle for level 6 and the race against fate has begun. Eternal Hell. Onward to Marineford. Just when it seemed like Luffy might reach Ace in time, reality hits hard. He is too late. Ace is already gone, transferred to the Marines, and Jinbei desperately urges Luffy to hurry before the last chance to save him slips away. But when Luffy reaches the lift, it's locked. Gas floods the area, spike traps block their path, and security is closing in fast. There is no way forward. Then, out of nowhere, Crocodile makes an offer. He will help Luffy escape, but only if he is freed. Luffy isn't exactly thrilled about teaming up with the old enemy, but Ivankov steps in, promising to keep Crocodile in check. Meanwhile, Jinbei, driven by his loyalty to Ace, begs Luffy to take him along. He was thrown into Impel Down for opposing the war and will do anything to stop it. Without hesitation, Luffy agrees. If there's even the slightest chance to save Ace, he's taking it. With the escape plan in motion, Crocodile immediately proves his worth, using his Sunset fruit powers to tear through the prison. The chaos spreads fast. On level 2, Buggy and Mr. 3, realizing this is their golden opportunity, rally the prisoners, creating a full-blown riot. that. Crocodile even tosses the keys to Mr. One, his old right-hand man, who gladly joins the breakout. Meanwhile, back in Newkama land, Ivankov rallies the prisoners to storm to the upper levels, turning Impel Down into a battlefield. As alarms ring and guards scramble to contain the madness, Hanabara takes charge, determined to stop Luffy's advance. But nothing is slowing them down. With Crocodile's sand, Jinbei's fishman karate, and Luffy's raw determination, they bulldoze their way forward. Luffy makes one thing clear. He is not stopping until he reaches Marineford. The greatest prison break in history has begun, and time is running out. Darkness descends. Blackbeard enters hell. With Ace now on a marine battleship heading toward Marineford, his execution loomed just 5 hours away. The Vice Admiral taunts him, saying, "Take a good look at the sky. Once you're on top of the execution platform and your shackles have been locked, you will never see it again." Meanwhile, at Marine headquarters, tensions rise as Whitebeard could attack at any moment. But what's even more alarming is that Blackbeard has vanished. And to make matters worse, an unauthorized battleship has arrived at Impel Down. The culprit? Blackbeard himself. Back in the prison, the situation is spiraling into complete madness. Luffy, Jinbei, Ivankov, and Crocodile are battling their way up from level 4. But Magellan has returned, sealing all exits and poisoning prisoners left and right. To add to the chaos, Buggy and Mr. 3 are leading a riot on level 2, overwhelming the guards, while Hyambare, foaming at the mouth from stress, hilariously decides the best way to cope is by eating rice cakes in the control room. Luffy's escape doesn't go unchallenged. Sadi and her jailer beasts stand in the way, but Jinbei, Crocodile, and Ivankov make quick work of them. Just when Luffy seems to have a clear shot to the next level, Hyambare steps in, refusing to let him pass. "I may not be strong enough to stop you, but if I let you go, the world will be doomed." Luffy, frustrated but determined, takes him on. But just as things reach a boiling point, Blackbeard himself appears. And the moment Luffy recognizes him, the man responsible for Ace's capture, he snaps. Blackbeard taunts him, mocking Ace's execution. "In a few short hours, we're going to put on a show that will shake the world." He reveals that his original plan was to take Luffy's head to gain the title of Warlord, but fate intervened, and instead he turned in Ace. Luffy, furious, throws a punch, but Blackbeard's darkness powers nullify it, sending Luffy flying with a counterattack. Luffy is ready to fight, but Jinbei holds him back, shouting, "There is no time." Ace comes first. While Luffy pushes forward, Magellan finally arrives at level 4, vowing that, "Straw Hat, you will not set one foot outside this prison." Blackbeard, intrigued by Luffy's resolve, lets him go, cryptically hinting that his crew will shake the world. But he doesn't get long to gloat, because Magellan wastes no time and drenches him in poison. With Magellan now hot on Luffy's heels and the prison in total chaos, the stakes have never been higher. But Luffy refuses to back down. "If I give up now, I will regret it forever. I'm going." The race against death continues. The Great Escape. A race against doom. The tension in these chapters of One Piece is noticeable, with just 4 hours left until Ace's execution. As Luffy and his team race to escape Impel Down, the stakes couldn't be higher. And the urgency is amplified by the omniscient narration constantly reminding us of the ticking clock. Every moment feels critical as Luffy battles not only Magellan, but time itself. Luffy's time on level 3 is a nightmare, with Magellan relentlessly hunting him down. Ivankov and Inazuma's heroic sacrifice to slow Magellan down is a standout moment, showing just how far they are willing to go help Luffy. Meanwhile, Buggy and Mr. 3's bumbling yet surprising effective escape attempts on level 1 are both funny and refreshing. Crocodile, who swoops in just in time to save them, once again proving he's the coolest anti-hero in the series. The real action though goes down on level 2, where Luffy faces off with Magellan again. This time, Mr. 3's wax ability proves to be a game changer, allowing Luffy to fight back without without poison killing him. It's a brilliant twist that gives Luffy a fighting chance. And when he lands a massive Gear 3 attack on Magellan, it feels like a real victory. Until Magellan unleashes his judgment of hell. The poisonous wave forces the escapees to make a daring leap into the sea, where they are saved by whale sharks, thanks to Jinbei's help. Just when you think they have escaped, Magellan launches one last Hydra attack. But it's Bon Clay who delivers the biggest shock of all. Still inside Impel Down, Bon impressionates Magellan and orders the gates of justice to open, giving Luffy and his crew a way out. The emotional farewell here is gut-wrenching, as Bon Clay, smiling through his tears, tells Luffy to save his brother, leaving behind his own fate in the prison. Luffy's anguished cry, "I never get to pay you back," hits hard. It's a bittersweet moment that perfectly captures Bon Clay's unshakable loyalty. As Luffy and his crew escape, the scale of their victory becomes clear. 241 prisoners have escaped Impel Down, making it the prison's greatest disgrace. The world building continues to shine as Crocodile maps out the journey to Marineford, tying together the locations of Impel Down, Enies Lobby, and Marineford in a way that's both satisfying and exciting. The chapter ends with Luffy's defiant declaration, "I'm going to save Ace. Just watch. It will be as easy as potatoes." His unbreakable spirit makes it clear that there is no turning back now. And then, at the Marine headquarters, Ace is dragged to the execution platform. A flashback plays in his mind, a promise between him and Luffy. Someday we'll go to sea and live however we want, a life of true freedom. With that, the stage is set for one of the most dangerous, emotional, and legendary battles in One Piece history. The war at Marineford begins now. Let me know in the comments about your favorite moment of Impel Down. Thank you all so much for watching, and I see you all in my next video. Bye bye!